So, this video is overdue. I know I have to make it, but it's a hard video to make. On December 14th of this year, my mom passed away. Um, Today is the 24th or 26th, I believe, is the day after Christmas. And it's been difficult to cope with the realization that my mother is gone. My mom was only 66 years old, but she'd been sick for a very long time. Um, she's she she had diabetes for about 40 years, and it affected her health. My mom was on dialysis 3 days a week. She went blind about 8 years ago or so after my daughter was born. She went completely blind and she suffered. She had tactile illusions towards the end. There was a lot going on. The what brought her to the hospital was she had an infection in her blood, and her blood sugar was about 500. So she rushed to the hospital. She'd been throwing up. Now, the day she went in was the day my dad was scheduled to have an amputation. So you can imagine how me and my two brothers were just like overwhelmed during this time. So she went to St. Raphael. My father was in Yale, and they discovered she had one sepsis from a MRSA infection. The doctors didn't believe she'd be able to fight off the infection, and but they put her on a lot of antibiotics. At one point, she went deaf; she couldn't hear us. So my mom was deaf and blind at the same time for about 2 weeks, and then she overcame the deafness. They changed her her medicine, her antibiotic regimen. Oh, I'm just all over the place, just trying to process everything. But I'll try and keep the timeline as best as I can. So one Friday, while she was going for dialysis, I guess her blood pressure dropped and her heart stopped. She coded. And they brought my mom back. They did compressions and all that, and she came back. But when she came back, she had to go on life support because my mom couldn't breathe. She was on ventilation. Um, it was a hard month for my brothers and I, and my father, and my whole family. I mean, my aunts came from New York, Canada. A lot of support from my parents' church and other churches and Haitian community at large. They were really there for my mom during her last months on earth, and they've been there for us our whole lives, to be quite honest, the church and the Haitian community. So at one point, they told us to put her in hospice, and my dad, who's a pastor, was like, "No, we have faith. We're not putting her in hospice. If God calls her home, that's His choice, but we're not gonna put her in hospice." So after about a month on the machines, my mom was able to breathe on her own. Her blood pressure was regulated, so she was put out of MICU and put on the regular floor. So eventually they got my mom off the nasal canal, which was the feeding tube. Even though the doctors didn't believe that was gonna happen. So my mom, she defied all the odds. She was breathing on her own, eating on her own, pureed food. I'm happy to say that for Thanksgiving, I bought my mom Thanksgiving dinner. I've made it for my family for the last 8 years. I'm the one who does Thanksgiving for my mom and dad. And so I bought her Thanksgiving dinner at the hospital. I fed her with my own hands. I can't, this is a very, I'm trying to be strong, but I just don't understand. I know she's gone. I just don't understand why she had to go. But I fed her, and she was supposed to be discharged on the 16th. She was supposed to go to a nursing home. We had a hard time finding a local nursing home because she was on dialysis, but not the hemo. She was on the dialysis, which was through her stomach. So anyway, she was supposed to be discharged, and then on the 14th, I got a call from the doctor saying your mom expired. I said, "What do you mean she expired?" They said she passed. She went home to God. I guess she called the nurse. The nurse helped her clear her throat. She took a deep breath and she went to sleep. But before my mom went to God, we were able to talk to her. My father was visiting her 3 times a day. up and down, even though he had just had an amputation. My older brother was there consistently. My younger brother tried, and I was there a lot as well. So my mom, she passed knowing that she was loved. My daughter is struggling with this because my parents have helped me raise her. Um, and I had to take my foundations of reading exam. I had to do at TPA, and I had to do early childhood exams all while my mom was going through this ordeal. So I'll do a video on my results from those exams soon. But I just want to let you know what was going on with my family and why I haven't been really posting. My mom has been through an ordeal, and this Saturday is going to be her funeral. And I'm hoping God can give me the strength to get through it. Her name was Javella Marcel Guerriere, and she was beautiful. I will post a video with her pictures, or I'll put a picture of her as the cover for this video. But I miss my mom dearly, um, and I just want to make her proud. Thank you for allowing me to share my pain with you guys, and just pray for my family. God bless.